Hey guys, this is Brownbag talking sports here again to talk about well, I was going to say NFL news, but not today. This time I'll be giving my thoughts on the NBA Finals. Aside from that Clippers game that I made a video about, I really haven't been making any videos about the NBA at all, which is a shame because the playoffs have been pretty good this year. Mostly on the Eastern side. There were a few blowouts in the earlier rounds on the Eastern side, but it got a lot better nearing the end where the Western side was the complete opposite. But like I said, I'm here to give my thoughts on Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Golden State Warriors versus the Toronto Raptors. A team who's been here 5 years in a row versus a team who just got here. I'm going for Toronto in this series, mainly because, well, screw Golden State. But secondly, the Raptors have just been through so much over the years. I mean, they've had talented teams, but they've just fell short against LeBron in the playoffs every year. It has to be disappointing being a Toronto fan, but this year, things changed. They got past the Magic in the first round in 5 games. They beat the Sixers in a thrilling Game 7, and they completely annihilated the Bucks in 6 games, winning 4 straight after being down 2-0. I have to say that Kawhi trade is looking better and better by the day. I mean, Kawhi has really been showing up these playoffs, and he's really taken the leader position of the team. And it's always nice to see a guy like that be the leader of a team. He's very humble. He always remembers to give his teammates and his coaches credit. Doesn't really care much about being the best player, just cares about being the best teammate and having the best team. I can really root for a guy like that. But to get into the main topic of this video, I'm going to be giving my take on what the Raptors need to do to win this Game 1. First off, Toronto must be clicking on all cylinders to win this game. Like I said before, Kawhi has been consistently great this entire playoffs. I mean, not even counting the Bucks series, he's been really good. He's been doing his thing. Kyle Lowry had a pretty rough beginning to the postseason. That first Orlando game, it wasn't good for him. But he's proven to be a valuable piece to the team. He was very good in the Sixers series, and he was very dominant on the defensive end in the Bucks series. So those two are out of my mind. Those two I don't have many doubts about. My main doubts are coming from the bench. Along with a really great defensive plan by Nick Nurse in the Bucks series, a big reason why the Raptors were so dominant was because the bench stepped up. Van Vliet in particular was amazing. Time and time again, he would just make these clutch threes that would keep the Raps in the game. In Game 5 particular, he had an amazing night, going 7-9 on the three-point line and finishing the whole night with 21 points. If the bench can bring that same energy like Van Vliet did, I believe that the Raps can really win this game. The bench doesn't have to be amazing, but they have to be consistent. They have to contribute. Another thing the Raptors need to do to win this game is take advantage that they have the home court advantage. Like I said, this is their first NBA Finals in franchise history, and the road to get here was not easy at all. And there were many doubts by the media and possibly by some Toronto fans, but now that Toronto has seen that they're in the finals, the crowd energy is going to be there. So utilizing that momentum will be instrumental in getting this Game 1. Another thing Toronto needs to do, they need to take advantage that KD is not there. Um, I'm not sure how healthy he's going to be or if he's coming back for any of the finals games, but he's definitely not coming in for game one. Boogie Cousins is going to be there. He's been proclaimed active, so there's that. But KD isn't there. KD has been the top player for the Golden State Warriors this postseason up until he got injured. Not to insult Golden State at all. I mean, they still have a strong team, and they've proven by that Portland series and by closing it out at Houston in 6 games on Houston's home floor that they're still dominant. But if you take a closer look at the Portland series, you'll notice that all of those games, with the exception of the first game, were really close. Golden State won games 2 through 4 with single digits. Portland really could have won all 3 of them, but they just let up and didn't keep that same intensity. So even though this Warriors team is still dominant, they're mortal. They can be hurt and they can be won against. Toronto can't. They have to bring that intensity. And a way to bring that intensity is to do what they did in the Bucks series by rebounding and cutting off Golden State's second shot opportunities. Too many times I see teams just not get the rebound or turn over the ball because of some careless mistake. Like that Portland game 1, they had over 15 turnovers. They had over 10 in the first half. Portland has a good team, but they were just so careless with the ball. It was just infuriating to watch. And that's what the Raptors can't do. They can't give Golden State free opportunities. They have to make them work. They have to bring that same intensity they brought to the Bucks on the defensive side, and they have to get the rebounds. Now, just stating one of my concerns with Toronto, I'm not entirely sure what their defensive plan is going to be for Golden State. I mean, I wouldn't call Milwaukee a slow team, but compared to Golden State's offense, how they're run, Milwaukee might as well be turtles. Now, to be fair to the Raptors, they have beaten Golden State every time in the regular season they faced them, but the playoffs are a different beast. It's been a while since they played each other in the regular season. I think they can adjust because they defeated Milwaukee in 6 games, and they had quite a bit of time to prepare. I mean, it was a really good move. It was just a really good move that they ended it right there, on their home floor, because if they had went to a game 7, even if the Raptors would have won, they'd probably still be, I don't want to say tired, but they wouldn't have a lot of time to prepare. But they have a lot more time since they beat them in 6 games, and I guess I'll just have to trust Nick Nurse on this. Game 1 in Toronto. Both of these teams are really talented, and they're really good. I mean, Golden State needs no introduction, but Toronto's had a rough road, and they're the better for it. So I think they have the momentum, and I think that the Raps will win 102 to 95. I feel like they have the momentum, and I think that everybody will show up. I think the bench will show up. I think the defense will be there. It might not be that crisp yet since it's game 1, and like I said, they haven't played each other in a while. But I'll believe in the defense. I'll believe in Nick Nurse. Yeah. So that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the Raptors versus Golden State. Until next time, guys, Brownbag signing out. Come on, Toronto. You can do this.